What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another World of Warcraft video for the War Within, and today we have an absolutely broken gold farm. This is arguably the best gold farm in the War Within at the very moment, especially after the nerf of the siege farm, and after the siege farm everyone has been wondering, where is Siege 2.0? Where is the next Siege farm and the next best cloth farm? People have been looking for it for a while, and this is kind of a farm that popped up 2 days ago, 3 days ago, where I saw some people were farming at the shard at the beach, and they were doing it for cloth. And apparently you need to be on a certain quest, or you need to have skipped the campaign to be able to do this farm. So in this video I want to talk about what the farm is, why you want to be here, the build you want to have as well for the farm itself, and I want to talk more about the farm, how to set this up, and basically everything you should need to know about the farm itself. Now first of all, the farm is going on in the background right now in a sped up footage, so 2 times sped up, just so you can see roughly how good it is, and you can see the piles of mobs coming in 24/7, and you can see how much loot there is as well. There's also a gold per hour counter in the top left, but this gold per hour counter is using the old values of the cloth, which counts as, I think it's 29 gold each, let's just say 30 gold each, for the bolts of weaver cloth, and they are currently selling for 50 on the auction house, or 48. So they are going for way more than they currently are listed as here, because we just got some news about gleaming shards being able to be transmuted into or shattered into storm dust. And in order to make gleaming shards, there's a disenchant flip where you turn weaver cloth bolts into a blue item and then disenchant that one. So as a byproduct of gleaming shards now being broken down into dust, cloth also went up in price, which means in reality I'm making even more gold per hour than what's being stated here. Now in this loot and appraiser window we're making about 85,000 gold per hour, depends a little bit on the time, but we tried this out for 4 hours yesterday and we made about 85,000 gold per hour consistently. That is also once again counting the old undervalued value of the cloth themselves, so we do make more gold than this. And also when you loot a blue, it's counted as a green. So when I loot a blue, I sell it on the auction house for between 1 and 5,000 gold depending on the blue. Weapons and rings and amulets, aka necklaces, they usually go for more, and then regular pieces, quote unquote regular pieces, they go for slightly less, but the blues are being counted as 250 to 300 gold. Meanwhile, I sell them for way more than that. So in reality, we're making closer to 100,000 gold per hour here when you count everything up and add everything up. And I believe you can see that just from the pools and how many mobs are basically being killed here at this farm. It is looking absolutely incredible. So there's a couple of things you need to know about the farm itself. Like once again, you have seen roughly how it works now. In the background, you've seen the pools. You've seen this from the boring perspective, by the way, because I'm the monk. All I'm trying to do here is keep the statue alive, keep myself alive, and heal my group as well, and do some damage when I can. So you're seeing this from the lazy monk perspective, which is probably not the most interesting perspective to see things from, but at least you get a pretty clear overview of the farm instead of a druid running around, even though watching a druid running around is probably more fun and more engaging. Either way, this is how the farm works. You just put down a statue, pull a bunch of mobs, pull them to the statue, and that's it. So let's talk about the farm itself, where it is, and how to set this up. For that, we are now going to go to the game. Ow, dude, koster ikke! Oh, this cat, man. So for the farm itself, you will be farming at the very first place you stepped foot into when you went into the War Within. You're basically going to the remnants of Dalaran, or whatever you want to call this place, to in the west of Donegal, at the entrance of this island, where you once again first spawned in when you started your experience or your adventure in the War Within. Now the thing is, when you go here, depending on where you are in the campaign, there might not be any mobs here for you. So for me right now on this character, there wasn't any mobs here last time, and there shouldn't be this time either. So at the moment, I cannot see anything. Meanwhile, the farm takes place here. So what you need to do is to have a character that is on this quest in the campaign. So when you spawn in, you have some quest here, which is where those mobs are. So you need to have a character that is on those quests. and he will invite you to the group. Now, when you get invited, you will click on your quest log or your map, or that person will, the leader, and he will turn on something called a party sync, which you will see on the map right here, or in the quest log right here as well. So when you're in a party with someone, they can then click start party sync, and you will then sync the party, and when you're party synced, you can go here and pick up the quest, even if you've already done the quest. So it's important to know, when the party sync starts, you might not get phased right away. You still have to go roughly to where I'm standing right now and pick up a quest, even though you have already done the quest, and then you will phase. So once again, if you don't see any mobs, like right now I don't see anything, get invited by a level 70 or 79 or even a level 80 who has skipped the campaign and has this quest available. They will invite you to their phase, you will start a party sync, and then you will pick up the quest. Even though you've already done the quest, party syncing allows you to do it one more time, kind of like revisiting or just questing with your friends, even if you've already done the quest, which is kind of cool. Now, once all of that is set up, that's basically what you need to do. At this point, it's a regular 2x4 farm, so you can either have 2 separate people from the same server making 1 group each, or you can make the group yourself, invite 5 people, then you will leave and start the second group. So regular 2x4 farming setups apply at that point. Now, if you are using the party sync mechanic, if you at any time lose a party member, like if they leave and you need to replace them, when you invite someone else, you all need to leave combat, so keep that in mind, otherwise the person you invite will keep getting kicked instantly. So when you try to invite someone, if you have the party sync enabled, everyone in the group needs to be out of combat before you invite that person, or at least before that person accepts the invite, otherwise they will get invited and instantly kicked. So just keep that in mind if you are using level sync or party sync. Now party sync is also really good because it scales everything down to level 70 and they therefore die faster. Now the thing is, even though you scale the mobs down to level 70 and you scale yourself down to level 70 as well, you will still get level 80 blues. So when I was farming here earlier, once again going back to my farming here, we got level 80 blues, even though at many times during this playstyle or play session we were scaled down to level 70. At the moment we are back to being level 80, but for a long time we were scaled to being level 70. Now what dictates that is if you have a level 70 in your group, and when that level 70 hits level 71, you will no longer be scaled. So what happened for us was that we had a level 70, he was the one who got this all set up for us, but then he hit level 71. At that point we were no longer scaling down to level 70, but we were still on the same phase, able to keep farming. So, we have now talked about how to set the farm up, we have talked a lot about party sync. Now party sync is really important to know about, by the way, so it's just really important to talk about that aspect. And once again, if you do get invited by someone that has party sync enabled and you still can't see the mobs, remember to pick up the quest, which once again is going to be roughly at this location, and once that is done, you should see the mobs, and you can now start doing that farm. Now, if you want to pug this farm, you can usually find it in the pre-made group finder under the cloth farm name. If you just search up for cloth, you should be able to find this one, and there's none of them available right now, which kind of makes sense. It's 4:08 in the morning in Europe, so nobody's farming right now, but it's usually called cloth farm or beach farm. Now the thing about cloth and beach farm is that there's 2 of them. We have this one right here, and we have one in Hallowfall. So every now and then you might join the wrong group, but in that case just leave and try again. So there's one over here as well, which is also cloth and beach, and then we have this one that we're at right now, which is also cloth and beach. Now for the setups, for what you want to have, number 1 is inscription. I should not have started with that, because that's the least important. Tailoring is more important, but now we're already at this point, so let's just talk about inscription. You will be able to loot Darkmoon cards, and you kill a lot of mobs here, so you get a bunch of Darkmoon cards. Now for this, the only important aspect for farming is getting 15 points in as many of these 4 as possible. You might not be able to have all 4, that depends on how much content you've done, but try to get as many as possible, because every single 15 node increases your ability to find the Dark Moon cards by 50%. So 50% here, then 50% here, then 50 here, and lastly 50 here as well, for a total of 200% more cards. Now at the start you might only be able to get 1, maybe 2, if you're lucky 3, and then after a while you will have all 4, and then you will just get even more Dark Moon cards. Now the main build you want to have is tailoring, and in tailoring you want to make sure you have this one for textile treasures to be able to loot more cloth. You also want to have quality fabric at the maxed out to get quality 3, but you also want to have from dawn until dusk. Now the thing about from dawn until dusk is that at the start you can learn the first one for free. So what I usually do, if you're starting out and you don't have 90 points yet, you can spend your first 60 points by putting 30 points here to get more cloth, and then you put 30 points here to get quality 3, and then you put 0 points here, or as many as you can, but 0 points lets you learn one of them for free. Now Duskweave is usually more expensive than Dawnweave, especially at the moment, so go for Duskweave first if that's the case, and then go for Dawnweave later. Now you unlock the first one without putting in any points, but to get the second one you have to max out the node, so that's 30 points. So in order to have tailoring fully set up with this one at 30 points, this one at 30 points, and this one at 30 points, you need to have 90 knowledge points in tailoring to be a fully maxed out farming build character. And for inscription it's a lot of points as well. You need to have, I think, how many points here? You learn the first one right away, but then you need to have 30 points, 30 points, and 30 points. So once again, 90 points in inscription as well. So with all of that being said, you have now seen where the farm is. We have talked about the farm itself, how to set up the farm, and also talked in depth about like the build for the farm, and also the party sync mechanic. At this point we have basically talked about everything about the farm, and I'm just gonna say this farm looks absolutely insane, and I would expect Blizzard to nerf this any day. I could wake up tomorrow and this farm is going to be nerfed. It could take a day from now, could be a week from now. The thing is, we never really know. Some farms, they have been really fast at nerfing, and then we had the Siege farm. Siege lived for over a week, and then it got hard nerfed. It just happens out of nowhere. So for this farm as well, it is an absolutely insane farm, on par with or better than Siege. It's at least easier to do, because Siege you had to have like what, 8x4? Here it's a regular 2x4. What we have that you're watching right now is a 2x4, and the mobs are melting, there's so many mobs available, it is so easy to do, and you make so much gold. This will get nerfed, there's no way it doesn't get nerfed, the only question is when. So farm it while you can, make a bunch of gold while you can, and cloth is even hot right now. People are buying cloth, the prices are going up, so you can farm a bunch of gold right now as well, and you also get sky shards. You can get a free mount for yourself, and people even sell that mount as well. Now when you sell the mount, I don't think it's a guarantee, but you can sell people the chance of getting the mount, where you spend your sky shard, and it is said, I can't confirm, but people say that when you use your shard on the mount, it has a small drop chance for anyone in the party. So I've seen people try to sell the mount, or sell a chance at the mount. Either way, you can get a free mount for yourself as well, by getting those sky shards. Either way, that's the video, and that's the farm. If you want to have access to more gold making stuff, then check out my gold making guide for the War Within as well, which will be linked down below, where we talk more about gold farms, both solo and group gold farms, and we also talk way more about professions, both for farming, but also for crafting and how to make gold that way. Basically, it's a guide for gold making. That's what it is, and you also get early access to gold making videos and exclusive videos as well. In addition to that, you get access to a gold making community with a bunch of like-minded individuals trying to make millions of gold, myself included, and I try to share the best gold making strategies that I can as early as I can. Either way, if that's interesting to you and you want to have my help to make gold in the War Within, then check out that guide, the link will be down below. Either way, that is what I have for you today, so if you enjoyed the video, then leave a like down below, and if you try the farm, let me know if you're impressed by the farm, like is it good or is it bad? Let me know in the comments. Either way, that's it. Peace out, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.